Tyrannosaurus! We need dinosaur power!
Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. I am Mr. Blast and today we are taking a look at not one, but two Mighty Morphin Power Rangers toys. We're going to take a look at the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Reignition Red Tyrannosaurus Zord and the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Lightning Collection Zord Ascension Project Red Tyrannosaurus Zord. And we're going to go over the articulation, we're going to go over the Megazord transformation, and also how these guys look similar, but they are very different. And we're going to see which one really does it better. Let's get into it. Alright, and here they are. We have the Reignition version, which just recently released within the last month or two, I think. And then also we have the Zord Ascension Project Red Tyrannosaurus Zord that came out back in 2022, which seems like a million years ago at this point, right? Yeah, maybe. So we're going to compare these two in a sense of not really like which one is completely better. They both do different things for different reasons. Obviously, this is more of a collectible. This one is more of a toy. This one reminds me more of the 1993 Megazord that we got when we were all kids, and this one is definitely more of a collector's item. Probably not as high quality as, let's say, the Soul of Chogokin version, but more just the fact that it's just, look at the paint on this thing. It's all over the place. It's great. And there's no stickers on this either, so yeah, let's push this guy back first. I'm gonna get this stand out of the way because you guys don't realize this, but this is actually how tall he stands compared to the Reignition version of it. This is just an oversized version of it with a lot more hollow plastic in it. So I had it on a stand to make it stand up a little better against the camera. So that's probably a plus for this guy because you gotta love, you know, just big giant robots. Why not? Especially a T-Rex. So we're gonna push him back out of the way to get a little room. And the first thing we're going to talk about is his head. As you guys can see, he's got a mechanical looking blue painted eye on both sides, which I think kind of adds a little bit more of the robot side of the Megazord, or the Daijujin, depending on which version of Power Rangers or, you know, Ranger that you like. So on the side, you've got the shoulders here for the Mastodon to connect to. Over here, you've got the nice silver paint here. Also, you've got the Megazord horns, which are also done in a black and silver. Okay. Inside, which is probably one of my biggest grievances with this thing, is that I can see the Megazord peeking out through the mouth of the Tyrannosaurus Zord. He's got his blasters in there, which is pretty cool. I don't remember if they're lasers or flamethrowers. You guys have to remind me down in the comments below. I can't remember if I saw him ever breathe fire or if he just shot lasers at the monsters and all that. So moving down to his chest and his arms, he's got way more movement in his arms. Even though he's still got the T-Rex look to him, you can actually bend these elbows pretty much, or the arm all the way down, and they do curl up, of course, for transformation to the Megazord, so you can do that. They actually have a little bit of outward movement too, just a little bit, not a huge amount, but just enough to portray that fighting stance. The chest here, it's got a nice red stripe here, and of course the yellow little trident piece is painted right here as well. On the back side, you've got some nice silver paint. You've got all this in black plastic. The Megazord head is also painted in black and white. My paint's pretty good, or that's silver. It looks white on camera. Yeah, it's crazy. It's actually silver. If you scroll down to here on the waist, you've got the like greenish rectangle on his waist. Red paint all the way around, which my lines look pretty clean. I won't complain about that at all. These little side like hip skirts. This one's really loose on mine. I don't know why, but it's just the way it is. It doesn't pop off though. I never had these pop off unless I intentionally, you know, pop them off during transformation or whatever. This one's not as bad. You've got some painted bits on the back here. His really long tail, which also connects at the bottom here. And this is just for Megazord transformation. I don't like this tip of the tail because, I don't know, mine just seems to move more than I want it to. I don't know. Again, it's probably a case-by-case basis. There's also like this little wheel looking here. It doesn't spin, but it helps give stability when you stand it up on a table so it doesn't fall backwards, which is actually pretty cool. The legs can go out, so he's got some movement there, almost the full splits. No, I can't go any further than that. It'll just pop the pieces off and the ratchet doesn't click anymore. So let's see, he's got I can move the legs down. Yeah, I can. It's got a nice clicky ratchet. Look at that. Sounds amazing. I love ratchets on toys. They just sound so awesome. You've got a nice thigh swivel up here. Of course, both of these have the hollow bits on the backs of their legs for transformation purposes. And probably one of my biggest gripes about this particular toy or collector's item is how they did the knees to connect to Megazord. These things are a pain in the butt to get out of here. They're very, very tight. And I understand why they did it, but it's still something that you should be aware of when you are transforming this into Megazord mode. It's really, really, really tight. So they do hide away, which is really cool. They didn't have to do it that way. I don't remember if the Solo Chocokin version does it something like that. Maybe it does. I have no idea. I don't remember. I had the toy a long time ago, and I ended up selling it for probably God knows what, maybe video games or something, which I regret now at this point. I wish I still had it. Here is some red paint on his feet on both of them. Mine looks pretty clean. Yeah, overall, I'd say that's pretty good. Silver, black on the side here. It's more mechanical looking than your traditional toy Megazord, I guess you could say, like this guy back here. But we'll get to that. But overall, yeah, he looks really awesome. Let's put him in the, actually, we'll wait for the Megazord mode. I'll show you guys the Megazord mode for both of them towards the end of the video. I want you guys to make a judgment call for yourself and tell me which one you think looks better. I also realize that he's got silver and black paint up top. So, yeah, he's got a lot more detail to him overall. And, of course, the black on the thighs, too. The tail's got a lot more detail on it with the silver and black paint here, too. So, yeah, there's little things that I'm actually missing because I don't really pay attention to it too much. But, yeah, that's pretty much everything that goes with it. You can spread the legs a little bit as well. I mean, I guess you could, but I don't know how well it would stand if you did that. I'm going to sit him back so he doesn't fall over. So let's get my stand back over here so he stands up a little bit taller. And hopefully he doesn't fall over. Yeah, that looks better. All right, so he can sit back there. Let's move on to the Reignition version of him. Okay, so now we've got the Zord Ascension project, red Tyrannosaurus Zord in the background on top of the stand. Like I said, just give him a little more height so you can see him a little better. And here we have the Reignition version of that same toy made by Playmates. And this definitely gives off more of a, this is a child's toy feel to it overall. It's not necessarily a bad thing, though, because sometimes it's just fun to have, like, a comic book or a cartoon-like version of said action figures, collectibles, or whatever you want to call them. But, I like this guy. I actually like it a lot more than I thought I would. I remember the first time I saw him on the shelf, and I absolutely was like, what is this? Like, who's buying this? And here I am buying them, So, it's usually how life goes. So anyway, let's go over what the head looks like first. As you can see, he's got a pretty gaping maw right there, and you don't actually see the Megazord face in there, which is a plus. I'm okay with that. You can see his little crest right here, though, from when he transforms and pulls the crown around the front. But you know what? I can live with that. Look at that. Overall, that looks a lot better in the inside of the mouth rather than this guy over here. He doesn't have his little blasters in his mouth, though, so that's kind of a thing for me. They could have probably easily molded those little blasters inside his mouth, but for some reason they just chose not to. His eyes are just painted black. There's nothing there. There is no life inside these eyes, unfortunately, but he honestly, it fits the toy really well. I kind of like the black a little better than the blue. I kind of wish they did black on that one, but I guess they wanted to break up the color a little bit, so that's why they did it that way. On the side, he still has the silver paint here. Also that little silver bits, that shiny part right there, so you can see that. It also is on that one. The other side, same thing. The Mastodon attaches in two different spots on each side when you put it in Megazord mode, unlike that one where these are the male ends, those are the female ends. So, I mean, I don't really know. I guess it does kind of make a difference in how you connect them. Maybe that's how the toy is. I don't have the Mastodon just yet. We're getting there, so we just have to wait for it to come in. So the arms, there's only up and down. There is nothing else. You cannot move these arms out. You cannot bend at the elbow. That's just what you get. You get armchair setting for the Tyrannosaurus, or you get straight up, like, essentially Megazord transformation on this guy. So kind of just keep him like this and kind of give him the overall, bendy armed T-Rex look with the 3 claws here on the front. Now, I know a lot of you guys are thinking, I didn't even notice this until somebody pointed it out in a forum that I'm in on Facebook. And this right here, this is a sticker that was applied incorrectly by manufacturing. I don't know if this is something that they'll catch eventually and go, oh crap, we put this on upside down, but I have the dreaded upside down yellow sticker that looks like a middle finger, as opposed to that looks more like a trident. So yeah, T-Rex, Red Tyrannosaurus Zord is giving everyone the finger when you're staring at him from his Tyrannosaurus mode. You don't see it when it's in Megazord mode though, because the pterodactyl goes right over the front. So, but yeah, I just thought I'd point that out. I don't know if they'll fix this. If you're out in the wild and you see it at Walmart, Target, wherever you buy these from, just double check it. And if you don't like it, you may have to send it back until you get one that actually has the sticker applied correctly. This is how mine is. I really didn't even notice it until like a day or two ago. So I'm just throwing that out there, everyone. On the waistline here, you've got a little tiny green box with a white outline. That one is just painted straight up green. I like that little sticker. It just gives a little more detail. The red all around is just molded plastic. I don't believe that is painted. Oh, maybe it is painted. Yeah, it's black plastic, but it's painted red. So actually, that actually looks pretty good. On the back, you've got 2 more connection points for the Mastodon. So it's going to be secure once we get all the pieces and we're able to put the Megazord together. So the tail, it does just kind of unsnap from the bottom right here. It's got the same type of connection point as the other one, as a Zord Ascension project. It only disconnects in one spot. This one does not have a tip that can bend down. So it looks like it's going to be just shy of the Megazord's head, so you won't be able to really see it at certain angles, which is kind of cool. I kind of like it a little bit better this way rather than that one over there where the tip of the tail bends or kind of snaps in half to hide it. On the thighs here, you have no swivel whatsoever. You get clackety joints. You can bend it. I mean, it goes, because like I said, you got to have these really strong ratchets for the Megazord mode. You just have to. There's no way that thing's going to stand up on its own without the proper ratchets in there. And these sound really nice and clicky. Once again, if you guys know me well enough and you've watched my reviews, you know I really love clackety joints with tough ratchets. I'm not a big fan of these soft plastic ratchets. I don't really like those. They're just, no. You know they're going to break down at some point. On the side, this is actually a applied sticker, which is on the right way because I compared it to the Zord Ascension project and it is correct. So there's that. Here, you've got more of this on this side, which looks really good. And let's get down to the knees here. The knees are a little different. The port actually just hangs out here. You can't move this. The only time it moves is when you transform the feet, and then it collapses inside, and then the leg goes straight down. Of course, you have to kind of sit this up a little bit, and that's it right there. The feet, much like the other one, I didn't mention it, but this does not have any ankle pivot whatsoever. The foot can bend, of course. I like the clickety-clackety ratchet on this one. That one does not have it. This one is just straight up just plastic. It just moves on its own. But this one really could have benefited from some ankle pivot. It's hard to get some poses with it without the ankle pivot. You just can't do it. So, like I said, you have this. This is on kind of like a pressure clip. You can see it collapses when you push in. These legs, when you put the saber-tooth tiger and the triceratops on here, man, they are on there good. So you don't have to worry about, you know, if you give these to your kids, they're not gonna be able to pull the legs off very easily unless your kids are like superhumans. But yeah, overall, I like this toy. I really do. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. Once again, like I said, I saw it on the shelf at the store and I was like, oh, really? Like more MMPR toys? And they just look like cheap. Why? But only half of that's true now. Why more MMPR? I get it. It's the most popular series we ever got. It's what gave Power Rangers life in America, or in the North Americas, I guess you could say. But man, we can get more of these. Like, give us more. At this point, I feel like they're going to give us the Dragon Zord if these sell well enough, which I think they will, because it's really hard to get a hold of Mastodon and Pterodactyl. They're hard to find, so at least in my case. So what we're going to do is we're going to set this guy down, and then we're going to get them into Megazord mode, and we're going to see what they look like when they are transformed. Okay, so we're going to start with the Zord Ascension project, and we're just going to get this guy put into the Megazord mode and show what it looks like to, you know, without the pieces on it. Just going to show you what we have to go through to get these guys into that mode. So we're going to just fold his arms up. We're going to pull this piece down, and we're going to take the T-Rex head and just kind of fold this down. That should go in just as pretty easily. And we're going to snap that shut, and we're going to flip the crown, or the crest, I guess, around the front. And it's got a really nice Megazord art on there. So now we're going to take the tail. The tail is supposed to go up like this and then bend it back. It does clasp to the Mastodon. Also, I forgot to mention that this tail actually will break, not break, but it comes apart at this part right here, so that when you do transform it into the Megazord mode, you get more movement from it. I know it sounds weird and how they do that, but that's basically how that works. So for now, we're just going to, since I don't have the Mastodon to connect it to, I mean, I do, but we're not going to show that. I'm just going to leave it like that so it all stays together. So you can leave it like this if you want, but for maybe to make it look like less of a backpack, you can put the tail on the back of the Mastodon. Here comes probably one of the most difficult parts of this guy is his leg transformation, and I've mentioned it before a million times that this is kind of a pain to pull out of here. Yeah, it really gets stuck. So now we're going to take it and push that down, pull this down, and you're kind of just posing it in this sense right here until when we get the other two pieces on here. We're going to pull this guy down, and we're going to, yeah, this is really tough to do with, because these are really, really tight. It's not even on a ratchet. It's just really, really tight. And I'm not the only person. Every other review that I've seen of these, it's the same thing. It's just super duper tight. Trying to get these knee connectors to point downward. So let's see, we'll do that. We'll kind of face the kneecap covers up there. And because the Megazord stands straight up, so we're going to do it like this too. And I think we can pose that. That looks okay. Well, it looks like we can put the foot in more. Here, let's see if I can get a better shot of that. Yeah, okay, that looks better. So that's basically what he's going to look like once you get it all transformed. The Megazord head. Let's do a little zoom in of the Megazord head here. Let's show that. But yeah, he looks pretty good. I really like this. He looks really nice. It's a little different from the OG. There's little subtle details on it that I really like. You can see the yellow paint up here on the crest, the yellow eyes. He's got a little black outline around his eyes, so you can see that. There's a little bit of sloppy white paint right there. They didn't quite get it all, but again, what are you going to do about it, you know? So, but yeah, I like the way this guy looks. I wish it was slightly larger, but I also understand that they were trying to make it in a scale at some point. If you guys watched my Astro Megazord video, you'll see that they scale very well together. So like I mentioned many times before in that same exact video, that, you know, Megazord is meant to fight and protect Earth, while the Astro Megazord was meant to be the place where they live and become a Megazord. So the scaling looks about right if you kind of go off Wikipedia details and whatnot. So, but yeah, looks really good. All right, let's get the MMPR Reignition version and we'll show how that guy transforms. All right, so here he is. Let's do this. This is not as complicated as the other one. So we're gonna fold his arms up. We're going to drop this piece right here, much like the other one. This is much softer. It just kind of falls in place. We're going to close that up. Actually, it clips right in here. You can't see it because it clips into the black plastic part. But once that's in, that's not going anywhere. So we'll bring the crest around. And then we're going to get that nice clickety-clackety ratchet. Close that up, collapse it. The knees are already in place. We don't have to mess with it at all. So we're going to collapse that, and we're going to take the legs and do one of these numbers. And the tail, much like the other one, the tail locks in a lot better on this one than it does on the other one. But unfortunately, I have to hold this up because it does have a locking mechanism right here, but I don't have the Mastodon yet, so I won't be able to do that. I'll have to hold it up as I review it. So, but that's basically it. That's all there was to it. So a much more simplified version of the Megazord transformation. Let's do a quick zoom in of his head, and I'll show you guys. I like the nice shiny black that they've got there. I'm not sure if that's the actual plastic or if it's painted. Actually, I think that's the actual plastic. That is not painted. Wow, okay, that's kind of cool. He's got the big yellow eyes, the smaller silver mouthpiece. There's not nearly as much detail on his face or anything like that. I like the nice silver crest they did right here, and it really matches up with the white stripe. The silver white-ish stripe on the horns too, and the yellow is painted much nicer on this one than it is on my other one. So, but yeah, he looks really good. I would say this Megazord looks more tired. Is that just me, or does he look more tired? Let me see the other one. Let's put them together. Let's see. Let's get these guys together. And yeah, I would say that this guy would have benefited from a little bit of black paint under his eyes. I would say that the Reignition Megazord just looks tired. He just looks tired and annoyed. He's like, oh man, monsters again? Come on, you kids. Which, if you've ever watched Zyuranger, you'll see that, and I didn't know this, that Daijujin, or aka the Megazord, he's actually a sentient being. He can talk and everything. He's not just a mindless robot like they made him out to be in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, so I thought that was really cool. I actually just recently started watching Zyuranger, and I absolutely love it. I love every minute of it. What a time to be alive if you were a kid in the 1990s in Japan. But yeah, there's the knees. These clasp in. Oh man, they have a death grip on the saber-tooth tiger and the Triceratops. So yeah, but yeah, this is pretty much it, guys. We've got more of these coming. I'm going to do a review for every one of them, comparing them to the Zord Ascension project, since to me, I think that was the latest version that we got of a fully complete Megazord. I still need to find the Mastodon. I don't have that one yet, but I will make videos on the others. So yeah, that's pretty much where we're at with these two. Which one do you guys like better? I like this one for the simplicity. I like it for other little various reasons. Much easier to put together than this guy. I like this guy simply because of the amount of detail they put into it. Now that I've got a side-by-side, I love the details on this guy. I think it was really good, but overall, it boils down to opinion. Which one do you guys like better? Reignition or Zord Ascension Project? Would you buy both? You can still buy these guys for pretty much close to retail. And this guy is just now hitting the shelves. Like I said, you're going to probably have a little bit of a hard time finding Mastodon and Pterodactyl as of the time of this recording. So just keep looking. They're everywhere. So, but what do you guys think? Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Mr. Blast. I appreciate you all for supporting the content. It really makes it worth it making these videos when you guys comment and like and everything else. So don't forget to hit that subscribe. Also, please, 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 please check out my other socials in the description. I would really, really appreciate it. And I do have other videos coming, so please keep an eye out for those. You'll see something pop up there that's already been released, so make sure you guys watch that and like those videos as well. And until then, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Mr. Blast, and I'll catch you all on the next video. Later.